years ago, in the beautiful city of Owerri, there lived a young woman named Ifoma. Ifoma was a very beautiful young lady, and she was married to a handsome Nigerian man named Eze. Their love was love at first sight, and they were so happy. Although Ifoma was still looking for a job as she just graduated from the university, Eze was very wealthy and owned several businesses and really did not care whether or not Ifoma worked. He had more than enough money to take care of himself and his wife, and he spared no expense at all when it came to Ifoma. Eze gave her money even before she asked. He loved her looking good and would give her money to buy new clothes and new hairs every 2 weeks. Ifoma was very happy. She was a spoilt wife. Her husband pampered and spoilt her silly. A few months later, Ifoma found out that she was pregnant, and when she shared the good news with her husband Eze, he was very happy. But as the pregnancy progressed, not only was Ifoma's tummy growing bigger, but she was also beginning to get fatter. Eze had never liked fat ladies all his life, and so, as he watched his wife grow fatter and increase in size, he was very displeased. He was beginning to find her very unattractive. So he spoke to her one day and said, "Ifoma, I don't like the way you're getting too fat too. Me, I do not like fat women at all, because do not spoil this God-given shape that got me attracted to you in the first place." Eze said, sulking, Eze, that is such a very insensitive thing for you to say. You know that I am currently pregnant and carrying your child, our child, yet you are body shaming me. You know very well that I was not a foodie before now and sometimes would only eat once a day. But now my hormones just make me hungry every single time. I am always craving one food or the other, and I'm eating like a buffalo. Ifoma replied, looking very sad. Me, I have sure told you my own, and I will say it again. I do not like fat women, and I will not start now. Please do something about your weight. You're not the first person to get pregnant. All these pregnant hormones you are talking about, Seth, that you say is responsible for making you eat too much, it's just an excuse that you have given yourself. Well, there's no such thing as pregnancy hormones. You just simply lack self-control and self-discipline. See my mother now. She gave birth to 8 children. Yet, see how sweet and young she's still looking at 70 years old. But see you have not even given me one child, and you're already round like a watermelon. You better work on yourself, oh. See me here, I'm a very young and vibrant man, and beautiful young ladies will rush me if I just give them the signal that I am available. Eze said sneeringly. Ifoma was very sad. She wondered why her husband would say such mean things to her. She had never seen this side of her husband before now. So she decided to try her best not to add any more weight. So she started eating very small portions of food. However, at night she will feel so hungry and will finish a gigantic bowl of food. Ifoma was very frustrated. She had even started hiding to eat in her own home, for fear that her husband would see her and rain insults on her. Ifoma was getting fatter and fatter by the day, and soon her husband Eze started changing. He started sneaking out to make phone calls at odd hours of the night, and would sometimes even come back home very late. Ifoma knew that her husband was cheating on her. She felt very sad and frustrated, and she blamed herself for her husband's actions and would cry and cry all day. But still, Ifoma could not stop eating. She was always hungry. So she simply resigned herself to fate, saying that maybe when she gives birth, she would lose weight and her husband would love her again. She wasn't even upset with her husband that he was cheating on her. Rather, she blamed herself for pushing her husband into the arms of another woman. So a few months later, Ifeoma gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, and she was so happy. She was not just happy that she had given birth, but was happy that she could start putting her life back in order by losing weight so that her husband would once again be attracted to her. But Ifeoma was very surprised to find out that she was even more hungry all the time now that she had given birth, because she was exclusively breastfeeding her baby and was eating more food than ever. She was very frustrated and disappointed with herself yet again. Her husband, Eze, did not make it any easier for her. Each time he saw her eating food, he would look at her and say, why not go and take more food now? Every second your mouth is moving. Have you even looked at yourself in the mirror lately? Fatty bum bum. Before you gave birth, when you were pregnant, you said it was pregnancy hormones that was making you eat anyhow. So now what's your excuse really? You just simply lack discipline. Why am I even disturbing myself? Don't worry, keep eating like a buffalo. I will send you back to your father's house so that you can go and finish the food there. Nonsense, Eze would say and walk away angrily. And Ifeoma would break down in tears, weeping and crying. And after crying for hours, she would still resort to food to comfort herself and make herself feel happy. A few days later, Ifeoma's mother, Madam Ngo, had arrived at Ifeoma's home. She came for Omugwo. Omugwo is a practice among the Igbos that when a woman gives birth, her mother would come and stay with her to care for the new mom and new baby, and to teach the new mom how to care for her newborn baby. Ifeoma was so happy to see her mother. Madam Ngo was also very happy to see her child and grandchild. But as she stayed in her daughter's home, she began to notice the strained relationship between her daughter Ifeoma and her daughter's husband Eze. Madam Ngo also noticed that her daughter was not her cheerful self. So she called her one day and said, Ifeoma, Ifeinwam, please talk to me. What is really going on between you and your husband? Since I came to your house, I noticed that you have been very sad, although you've been pretending to be happy. Madam Ngo said, looking worried. At this point, Ifeoma could no longer hold it. So she broke down and narrated all that has been happening to her mother. Madam Ngo looked at her daughter very kindly and said, Oh, Ify, why didn't you say anything since? So all this while, ever since you were pregnant, your husband has been body shaming you? Does he really know what it takes for a woman to give life? Some women lose their teeth, others even go blind, and some other strange ailments happens to them when they undergo the 9-month pregnancy journey. I'm so disappointed in Eze. So instead of him to support you, he was busy body shaming you all through the pregnancy. Thank God that the only thing you experienced during your pregnancy is weight gain. Does he really know that some women have stroke because of pregnancy and others die during this journey? So men really need to be enlightened. Anyway, my darling, you're still as beautiful as you always have been. Don't worry, when you're done exclusively breastfeeding your baby, I will enroll you to a weight loss program, and I am sure that in a matter of months, you will lose some weight. But please do not be hard on yourself. Remember, it took you 9 good months to gain all this weight. So please be patient with yourself and give yourself some grace. Do not expect to lose all the weight in just 1 month. Madam Ngo said reassuringly. Ifeoma felt better after speaking to her mother. One day, Ifeoma was sitting with her mother in the parlor, and they were just gisting and snacking on popcorn, when suddenly Eze walked in and looked at his wife with disdain and said, Can you ever let your internal organs rest for a second? Can you let your digestive system breathe? Every time I see you, your mouth is always moving. Chan, 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 chan. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Just take a good look at your tummy. Just look down. See how big it is. Is that how the tummy of a 20-something-year-old young lady should look like? Eze said scornfully. Haba, Eze, do not talk to a nursing mother like that, for crying out loud. Do you really know what it takes for the body of a woman to carry a child and birth life? And you expect it to return to normal as if nothing ever happened? That's ridiculous, my friend. Madam Ungo, Ifeoma's mother, clapped back angrily at Eze. And then Eze replied and said, "What are you saying, Mama? Why are you encouraging my wife, your daughter, to be lazy? See, everywhere on social media, everyone that gives birth is snapping back as if nothing even happened. But why is my own case different? See my wife. She's getting fatter and fatter by the second. She's even now fatter than when she was pregnant." Eze retorted angrily. "Oh, please stop that nonsense. You are educated and should speak like one. Yes, some women snap back immediately after birth. Does not mean that it's the usual thing. And do you seriously believe everything that you see on social media? First and foremost, social media is not real life. People only show you what they want you to see." Madam Ungo replied, already getting upset. "Oh, please, Mama, keep your opinions to yourself. Ifeoma is my wife, and I will talk to her in whatever way I deem fit. I will correct her. If I say my wife is fat, then she is fat. So please sit down and do not interfere when I talk to my wife. You came for Omugo, so mind your business. Do your Omugo in peace and head back home." Eze shouted angrily. "Oh, please, Eze, do not speak to my mother like that now. It's very disrespectful. You can speak to me anyhow you deem fit, but please not my mother," Ifeoma said, pleading with her husband. "Oh, so you are growing wings, Abi? So you dare speak to me because your mother is here, Abi?" Eze said as he knitted his hands and tried to hit his wife. Although Ifeoma dodged the slap, Madam Ungo picked up a ceramic artwork and hit Eze on the head. Eze fell to the ground and laid unconscious. Madam Ungo immediately called her husband and told him all that had happened. And in less than 5 minutes, the Nigerian police arrived at Ifeoma's home. They first of all resuscitated Eze, and when he woke up, they handcuffed him and took him to the station. A few days later, Eze was released on bail. Immediately he came back home. He screamed at his wife and pursued her and the baby and his mother-in-law out of his home. Ifeoma cried and cried, but after a while she just went back to her father's house with her mother. Her father, Mazi Okeke, was already waiting for them, and upon seeing his daughter, he was full of smiles and said, "Ah, my beloved daughter, Adam, my first daughter, Adam Naya, the strength of my youth. You are welcome back home. This is your home, and this is your father's house. You are free to stay as long as you choose. Your worth is far more than rubies," Mazi Okeke said as he hugged his daughter and welcomed her warmly. Ifeoma was so happy. Her parents took very good care of her and her son. A few days later, Mazi Okeke called Eze and told him to come over to his house so they could discuss. But Eze flared up and told his father-in-law that he was no longer interested in the marriage and that his people were in support of his decision. Mazi Okeke did not even contest it or exchange words with Eze. He just simply said, "Okay, no problem." So over the next few months, Mazi Okeke took very long walks with Ifeoma every morning as a way to show moral support. He also ate the same food with her in small portions just to show support and help her with her weight loss journey. After a while, Ifeoma spoke to her father that she wanted to work, and he put her in charge of one of his businesses. Life was going very smoothly for Ifeoma. As a matter of fact, she was very happy, and all her long walks and eating food in small portions had beginning to pay off. Ifeoma had lost so much weight and was looking so beautiful and much more better than she was even before she got married. And she was now working and earning very well. Her son had also started going to school and she enjoyed all the love and support from her family. All this while, her husband Eze never checked up on her or their son. He had moved on with his life. He had even started dating again, and the young lady he was dating had even moved in with him. His sisters would always snap and post pictures of the girl all over social media, saying things like, this is our real wife, a good woman, my brother's queen. They did all these things just to spite Ifeoma. And initially, all their actions actually got to her, and Ifeoma felt very bad. But with the love and support of her parents, she was able to move on and she no longer felt bad. A few weeks later, her husband Eze had even come to her father's house to collect her bride price and also served her divorce papers, saying that he was no longer interested in the marriage. Mazi Okeke simply returned the bride price and Ifeoma signed the divorce papers. For the first few days, Ifeoma was heartbroken. She wondered if her husband ever truly loved her, with the way he was able to move on so quickly. So Ifeoma carried on with her life. She was now a single woman and was determined to be happy. She was not ready to get into any relationship yet, for fear that she might simply be using the person as a rebound and might not make a good decision because she was lonely. However, a few months later, Ifeoma was in her father's house when some persons walked in. She realized that it was her husband and his sisters. But what was more shocking was that her ex-husband was now on a wheelchair and had partial stroke. Then the sisters went ahead and narrated all that had happened to their brother, Ifeoma's ex-husband Eze, saying that Eze was involved in an accident and that it had affected his mobility, and that the doctors had said that he would never be able to walk in his life. Eze, on the other hand, was shocked to see how beautiful his ex-wife Ifeoma looked. And then, although Eze was struggling to speak due to the partial stroke, he turned to his wife Ifeoma and said, "Please, Ifeoma, I am sorry for how I treated you in the past, but you know that marriage is for better or for worse. Please, I need you now more than ever before. Remember that you are the wife of my youth. Also, remember all the good times that we shared. Ifeoma, please, I need you to move in back to the house so that you can take care of me. I am more than willing to pay your bride price again and get married to you again. Please, for the sake of our son, please," Eze said, looking very humble, with tears in his eyes. Ifeoma could not believe her ears, and she immediately busted out into laughter. "Oh, so now you know that marriage is for better or for worse. Wow, I never knew. So when I gained weight because I gave birth to our child, what did you do to me? You humiliated me and said all sorts of unspeakable things to me. Why did you not stand by me and help me lose weight and encourage me with love, since you said marriage is for better or for worse? Instead, you treated me like rag and trampled on my self-esteem. Now you have the guts to open that mouth of yours and say that marriage is for better or for worse just because you're now on a wheelchair. Okay, so what happened to all the girls that you were parading with? And what happened to your sisters that were hailing you, saying, our wife, our wife? Oh, they don't want to take care of you, Abi? They've all deserted you. And now you suddenly remembered that you have a wife. You must be joking. You sure you are very silly," Ifeoma retorted as she ordered Eze and his sisters out of her father's house. Eze pleaded and begged Ifeoma, but all his pleas fell on deaf ears. Eze was so devastated. He wished that he had been good to his wife and stood by her. He deeply regretted his actions, but it was too late. 1 year later, Ifeoma met a very handsome young man named Ekene. She dated him for a few months just to make sure that he was nothing like her ex-husband. And after a while, they both got married. Ifeoma was so happy. Ekene treated her with so much respect and love, and he loved her son as though he was his son. Meanwhile, Ifeoma heard that her ex-husband Eze was now living in a home for the disabled, as his sisters refused taking him to live with any of them, saying that he would be too much of a burden and stress on them, saying that they had their own lives and had responsibilities, and did not want to be saddled with the responsibility of caring for a disabled man. Eze was very miserable and often wished he could go back and undo all that he had done, but it was too late. He lived a life of continuous regrets. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha again. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think about husbands who body shame their wives? Do you think that it was right for Eze to have said all manner of unspeakable things to Ifeoma? And were you ever body shamed while you were pregnant? Maybe not by your husband, but by close friends and the rest of it. And also, do you think that it was Ifeoma's fault that she gained all that weight during pregnancy? Do you think there's a way to curtail weight gain during pregnancy? Was she just careless and just eating anyhow? Does that whole pregnancy hormone thing, does it really exist? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Did you have a word craving during pregnancy? I would like to hear all of it. And also, do you think that it was Ifeoma's mother, Madam Ngo, that actually destroyed her marriage by interfering? And what do you think about Eze? Do you think he deserved all that happened to him? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And please support your homegirl, Omalicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing it with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye and Happy New Year!